Hi there and welcome to the show where we invite incredible chefs and home cooks on outdoor adventures to cook up some of the best camp food that you've ever seen. I'm Jason and this is Overland Eats. All right, what's up guys? So today we're gonna cook a little filet mignon with butter lump crab meat sauce, a little creamed spinach, and then some bananas Foster for dessert if there's time. Now the wind is really kind of roaring right now up here in Breckenridge, Colorado. So we're gonna have to make do with what we've got and see how it goes. So let's get started. So first thing I'm gonna do is I've got this about 2 pounds of spinach here for my creamed spinach. I just wanna wilt this down really good. So I'm just gonna drop this right on top of the fire. And while we're doing that, we need to cut up some of this other goodies. All right, so what we're gonna do over here is get the rest of the creamed spinach ready while this is wilting down. So we've got some killer looking, thick cut smoked bacon right here. We're just gonna chop this up and throw it right in the skillet. All right, so now that we're wrapping that up, next thing we're gonna do is chop up some onion and throw it in there. And we're just really gonna use a half an onion for this because we're only doing about 2 pounds of that spinach. Luckily the wind out here is cooperating with us for the moment. It was whipping earlier. But just to give you a little bit of context, it's about 36 degrees out, so a little chilly, but we're gonna make it work. All right, so we'll go ahead and add these onions here to this skillet. Got my cast iron. Always cook with cast iron up in the mountains. Just gonna add a bunch of olive oil to this just to help it cook down a little. Because it's so cold outside, I'm gonna kind of reverse sear these instead of just doing them in the cast iron. So I made this little grate for my Dutch oven so I can get them up to temperature a little bit before we actually put them on the cast iron. All right, so for these fillets, for some seasoning, I'm gonna use some Sasquatch barbecue moss. Follow this guy on Instagram if you haven't already. He makes some killer barbecue. We're gonna go ahead and throw a little bit of healthy amount of seasoning on here. Spinach is almost wilted down. See how that cooks down? So that huge amount of spinach cooks down to almost nothing. Tell you what, there's nothing better than getting out here with some good company, some good food, some good views. Can't beat it. All right, our spinach is looking nice. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off. All right, so next up, I'm gonna take these beautiful private reserve filet mignons from Omaha Steaks, and we're just gonna try and get them up to temp a little bit. All right, so while these steaks are getting up to temperature in the Dutch oven, we're gonna go ahead and get our creamed spinach going. So, got my Stargazer cast iron, and we're just gonna go ahead and get that onion, that bacon, cooked down a little bit before we add our cream. So usually when you're cooking over fire like this, I usually like to let it be just the charcoals. With the way the wind is and the temperatures out here, we've actually got this thing raging with firewood on top of the cowboy charcoal. So it is what it is. You probably see the smoke billowing this way, but we've got to get this stuff cooked up, so we'll keep at it. Let's go ahead and check on these steaks. So that's just what we wanted to do, is trying to get them warmed up a little bit before we throw them in that cast iron. All right, so while this is cooking down, let's go ahead and get our spinach ready. See all that water? You want to get rid of all that liquid before we throw that into our mix. So of course it wouldn't be creamed spinach without the cream, so we're gonna go ahead and put some heavy cream into here. And we got about 2 pounds of spinach, so I'm gonna put about half of this guy in here because we're gonna reduce this by about half. And add some Tennessee smoke to it too. This is some Derek Wolf stuff, it's super good. And that's doing just what I wanted it to, kind of get these guys nice and chilled out. All right, so when it comes to cooking good food up in the mountains, you really can't just, turn your oven to 350 and let it ride. You really have to figure out where are the hot spots in your fire. Are you gonna use charcoal or hardwood? Is the wind blowing? What's the temperature outside? Has everything to do with how your food's gonna come out, all the way down to resting your meat after you cook it. Today it's about 38 degrees outside, 35 degrees outside, I'm not really sure, but we're not gonna let this stuff rest at all. We're gonna go ahead and cook that filet and then eat it right away. All right, so now that we've got this reduced down nicely, we got some good spice in there, onions are caramelized, that smoky bacon is gonna give it an awesome flavor. We're gonna go ahead and start adding some of our spinach. We're just gonna get all that kind of mixing together, get that cream mixed in really nice. But we're gonna go ahead and add our last ingredient, which is a little bit of pecorino romano shaved. You just throw it generously right in there. All right, so we've got our creamed spinach. It's coming along really nice. Now it's time to get our steaks out of the Dutch oven and onto the cast iron. Look at that nice color. If your steak doesn't have any color, you're not doing it right. So we're gonna go ahead and pull these off and let them rest for just a minute while we make our lump crab meat butter sauce. So we're gonna pull these guys off and set them right here for a minute. So now if you look close up here, you got all this buttery goodness, this big old thing of lump crab meat. Drop it right in there. I'm gonna take all these chives, throw them right in there too, along with all that garlic and butter that's already in there. And this, maybe just 2 minutes. All right guys, so it's actually starting to snow now, but our filet is done and rested, our creamed spinach is ready, and our crab meat topping is also ready to go. So let's plate it up and get ready to eat. All right guys, and there you go. We got filet mignon, butter lump crab meat topping, and some creamed spinach. Enjoy. All right guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you enjoy, leave a comment in the comments and we'll make some more. So happy eating, let's go.